Wow, Ross, have you seen this crypto crash? It's a good thing I could never figure out how to actually buy it. Welcome to Open Mic. We like to start the show with some stories or take on a story you won't get anywhere else. I grew up in Prince George's and live in the district, so you know these jokes come from a place of love. Or so you think. We're going to start things off in Alexandria, Virginia, where demolition began on Landmark Mall this morning to make way for a new mixed-use development. During the demolition, what appeared to be an owl was spotted on the roof of the building, refusing to move. Now, you know how I feel about any story where animals do funny things. You know I had to talk about this. Well, turns out this was an owl statue that was placed on the roof to scare off unwanted critters. I've heard of scarecrows, but I have never heard of scare owls. The fake owl looked real enough to me up there, though. If I were a mouse, I would definitely leave that thing alone. Although, then again, if I were a mouse, I probably wouldn't be up on a rooftop. That is a whole lot of climbing for those little bitty legs. Birds probably figured it out easily, pretty quickly, when that thing absolutely never moved. The demolition resumed as planned, and fortunately, no owls were hurt in the process. As far as owl replicas, well, that's another story. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I chose this story from White Oak, Maryland, because it's in keeping with the Animals in Weird Places theme. A 1-year-old cat named Tutu was rescued after getting stuck in a tree 75 feet above the ground after going missing for days. 75 feet, man. Tutu would live in that tree if I had to go get her. Thankfully, Tutu's safety was not up to Reese Waters. She was rescued by professional tree climbers from Axcabar Tree Experts in Olney. Yeah, that's right, professional tree climbers. They had to call in the pros. And yes, I had no idea that professional tree climber was an actual occupation. You don't see that one on LinkedIn too often, but there really is a career for everyone. Kids, take note. Tutu, then again, might need to be an indoor cat from here on out. I can't imagine that professional tree climbers come very cheap. Hey, Tutu, if you get stuck in another giant tree again, you're going to have to get a job, because rescue a daredevil cat isn't in anybody's budget. Let's head over to Northeast DC for this next story. A house in the Brentwood neighborhood sold for $525,000. And 3 days later, the new owner listed it for sale again, this time for $1 million. Word. Word. This owner isn't even trying to flip this house. They're trying to Cirque du Soleil that thing. How are you going to double the price in 3 days in Brentwood, of all places? According to livability website Area Vibes, the crime rate in Brentwood is 241% higher than the national average. Well, you know what? That's not high enough. You're going to have to jack that thing up, because setting this price for this house absolutely should be illegal. This is greed, plain and simple. There's no way this owner did $500,000 worth of upgrades in 3 days. Whoa, I'm worth $500,000, so me being here makes it $1 million. Nice try. Unless he or she struck oil on that property, no excuse. There seems to be a buyer for everything then again these days, so this person probably will get the money they're asking for. That's the market that we're in right now. I'm sure somebody's got to be in the market for an overpriced place near Popeyes and Heckinger Mall. And finally, we're taking a trip to New York City. For this last story, Succession actor James Cromwell superglued himself to a Starbucks counter as part of a PETA protest over Starbucks charging extra for vegan milk.
When will you stop charging us more for vegan milk? When will you stop raking in huge profits while customers, animals, and the environment suffer?
Wow, that was like me supergluing myself to Capital One Arena when the Wizards blew a 35-point lead. This is the hill he chose to die on, or more accurately, this is the counter he chose to attach himself to. I guess, then again, there are worse uses for superglue. He could have tried to give himself finger waves. Somebody let this guy know that everything at Starbucks is overpriced, not just the vegan milk. By the way, vegan milk sounds super expensive. I feel like you need a whole lot of scientists involved just to make vegan milk. That's probably why it costs more. I will say that anybody willing to bond their skin to a counter is committed to their cause, unreasonably committed to a fault, but they are committed. My favorite story, well, it can't be the super glue protests. I've never been that passionate about any beverage, not even the ones with alcohol in them, except for Steel Reserve 211. That one I'll die for. So I'm going with the 3-day house flip. Kids, you can be anything you want to be, and apparently you can charge anything you want to charge. Hashtag goals.